Hey food lovers, welcome back for another episode of Lifestyle with a Food Lover. I'm Chef Kristen Hatton at KristenMarines.com, and this is
Dr. Tony Hatton, vision expert at www.theattractivethinker.guru.
And today I wanted to talk about a topic, knowing what to do and not doing it. We provide a lot of our clients with, health information and health resources and different things, different places to go to acquire these things and changing over their cleaning products and all this other stuff. And we give them this information and they have this information, but they don't use it. So I guess my question is, why do we know what to do, but we don't do it? Is it a mental thing? Is it our environment, the people that we're hanging out with, they're not in support of that, so maybe that's why we're not, motivated to do the right thing as far as our lifestyle is concerned? What is it?
That is a great question, Kristen. And for all the food lovers watching us right now, I want you to have pen and paper ready, because you never know when you're going to see something or hear something that's going to cause a shift in your life and support you in getting to where you want to go quicker. Because with support, you can go further, faster. So when we talk about knowing what to do and doing it, there's a lot of factors involved. Think about this for a moment. The state that you're in right now, you're used to it. And you've been doing it for a long time.
It's comfortable.
It's comfortable. It has become a habit. So when you make a decision to do something different, it's just not what's coming out of your mouth that's going to get you there. You've been comfortable doing what you've been doing for years, but you have to understand it's more than just a verbal decision. It has to be a mental decision, right? And then you have to do the mental work, because doing something different and doing something new and trying new experiences and exposing yourself to other things, it's going to require some work, because your mind wants to slip back to the comfort zone, to what's comfortable. For example, if you commit that you're not going to drink sodas for this week, and you know that for years you've been drinking 2 or 3 sodas a day, that verbal decision that you made, that's cool. Congratulations. I support you on that. But you have to remember, your whole body, your DNA, your mind, your brain saw you drink that soda 3 times a day for years. And it's comfortable doing that. Your body is used to it. And out of reflex, you're going to go get the soda. Out of reflex, you're craving. You're going to take the money out of your pocket. You're going to find yourself going to the store getting the soda. So what's going on here is several parts going on. It's not just a verbal decision. It has to be a mental decision. Then you have to do the mental work. And this is why in our country we struggle to be well. Knowing all the things that we know to do, knowing what to do and not doing it, because we don't know the missing link is the mental piece. We've been programmed to eat a certain way. We've been programmed, like you said, it's encoded in your DNA now to eat hot dogs and French fries, or hot dogs and potato chips and burgers and fries.
At a cookout. That's like, we can't handle.
You automatically know what's going to be at the cookout.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, even just with the advertising. You're sitting there, it's late, you're hungry at night, you turn the TV on, you just ate, probably maybe something healthy, maybe something unhealthy. That commercial comes on and it shows the food in slow motion and it's all juicy and it's just dripping and you're like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. I think I might run out and get that ice cream bar.
And you were getting ready to go to bed before you know you got shoes on and you're telling folk you're going to be back, and like, what you see what's and you were not even supposed to be eating that late anyway.
I know for me personally, when we first started with, I'll say our changeover diet, our shift in what we ate started about a little over 10 years ago, back when I was in middle school, and I came home one day and the sofa was gone, the microwave was gone, and it was completely different food in the fridge. And I remember you made a tofu like stir fry. We're looking at this stuff in the pan like, well, where's the pork chops, and where's the sweet potatoes and all this other stuff? And it was a process for us to get used to it, but it was also one of those things whereas we, in the media, we didn't see that type of food, publicized. When you think of tofu, when you think of all this other, it just automatically like I have an aversion to it because
Right.
it just doesn't look good. No one ever talks about it being good and all this other stuff. So I'll say outside forces has a big influence
Yes.
with how I eat
Yes.
and what I eat.
No,
and I have to
doing it. Yeah.
the labels, like you can just walk into the market and the labeling is just so pretty.
Enticing.
Yes.
Yeah, the colors.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
just buy it because the box is pretty.
Yeah.
It could taste, I could get home and
Yeah.
it tastes absolutely awful.
Yeah, but we purchase with our eyes.
Mhm.
We eat with our eyes, and like Kristen said, those outside influences, they influence our decision.
Mhm.
Have you ever made a decision, food lover, and before 24 hours is gone, you do the exact opposite of what you decided to do?
Mhm.
It's because you can't just make a verbal decision. You've got to reprogram the driver, which is your subconscious mind, the one that's recorded everything you ever said or did, everything you ever heard or had said to you, everything you ever experienced or everything you ever did personally. It's encoded in your subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind knows you like burgers and fries. Your subconscious mind knows that you like junk food at the end of the day while you're watching TV.
Mhm.
So all of a sudden you're gonna tell your subconscious mind, we're gonna eat salad and drink water, and you think you're gonna be okay with that, and that's just gonna work, right? That's not how it works.
I guess the question really is, though, maybe not why you eat certain foods when you know you should be eating something else, but I guess the question is, do you really want to be healthy? Do you really want to be healthy, food lover? Do you really want to enjoy life? Do you really want to change your lifestyle?
Mhm.
It's a lifestyle. For me, eating healthy is not a diet. I don't do
Yes.
well with diets because it's like I'll stick with it one week and then the next week, I could be out of town or something can happen and I'm just like, I can't stick
Or
with
you're
this.
on the diet and you say, I can't wait till this 30 days is up so I can get me a Big Mac.
Exactly. So what's the point of the 30 days?
Yeah, you're going to bounce right back to the old habits that caused you to gain weight, the old habits that raised, that drove your blood pressure through the roof and raised your blood sugar and, made you feel terrible, sapped your energy.
Mhm.
So why wait 30 days to run back to that?
Mhm.
Like you said, it's not a diet, food lovers. We have to make a mental decision to have a healthy lifestyle, to create a healthy lifestyle.
Mhm.
Something consistent, because the body can't handle all this back and forth stuff.
Mhm.
You're eating healthy today, and then you're sabotaging on sugar and salt overload, and just going crazy with the food and cramming crap down your throat. The body can't handle it because you got to understand you're taking your systems from one pendulum into the pendulum to the other, and after a while, some systems start to shut down.
They do.
Can't handle it.
They do. So why do we decide to eat healthy or change our lifestyle? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for your family? Sometimes if you don't have the motivation to do it for yourself, look around you. Look at your kids.
Yes.
Like I tell my family all the time, you have to get healthy, if not for yourself, it's for me, so that you can be here to see my accomplishments.
Yes. That is very key, food lover. If you can't find the courage to do it for yourself, because see, that why is really important. Most people just want to be healthy. If you ask the average person, why do you want to be healthy? You want to lose weight, or you want to look good in that dress. Superficial reasons. The why is not strong enough. You need a strong enough why so that when the temptation comes, you're anchored in your why. Your why is bigger than the temptation. So what are some big enough whys? Don't you want to be here for your children? Do you really want your daughters walking down the aisle by themselves, or some man that they pulled from their past and asked them, could you take my dad's place? Or do you really want your daughter, having that baby without your support mom?
Don't you want to see your grandkids?
Yes, absolutely. And don't you want to be well, or do you really want your children wheeling you around to events and function that you're supposed to be enjoying, and you can't even enjoy because you can't get up the steps with the wheelchair?
Do you want to remember your children?
That's a big one because we're dealing with a lot of mental illness and Alzheimer's in our country. Do you want to be able to remember your children? You gave birth to these children. You raised these children. You walked through their ups and downs and highs and lows. You named them. How can you be comfortable forgetting their name? Think about that. You can't even remember your child's name. That's serious. If that's not a good enough why, then I'm not sure what is. We have to anchor our hearts and our souls and our minds in a good enough why. Why do you want to be a healthy food lover? Think about that. When you anchor your soul and that why is big enough, you'll make the switch. You'll do whatever you can. Because see, sometimes we need a reality check. A lot of times we know what to do and don't do it, Kristen, because we're not in touch with what it costs us to stay the same.
It costs me a lot to be unhealthy. It cost me a lot to be in my comfort zone, to be content in how I was eating. Yeah, it tastes good. It was great. But the end result, sick, gained weight, couldn't hang out with friends, couldn't travel, couldn't even walk up the steps, you know, missing school, missing work, not making money. All it trickles all it. It all comes into one big pile. Everything is affected when you don't take care of yourself and when you don't make a decision to do that.
So are you saying that your food controls other areas of your life too?
Oh, definitely. That's why I'm a food lover, because I really have to pay attention to what I eat, what I enjoy, what affects my body. Because like I said, if I'm sick, I can't work. If I can't work, I ain't making money. If I ain't making money, then I can't pay for things. If I don't have, certain things, can't go on a trip, then I'm depressed. And, if I'm depressed, that affects other people in my circle. And it just, you're affecting your life, you're affecting your family's life, your friends, everything.
What you put in your mouth affects your self-esteem. How you feel about yourself. Because if you're in that vicious cycle, food lover, of eating and then regretting and feeling guilty, you're just beating yourself up. You might as well just be punching your own self in the face.
Pretty much. And I'm not going to do that.
But that's, the physical image of that, I saw that.
That doesn't even make sense.
Yes, but that's what we do when we do the things that we know we shouldn't. Knowing what to do and not doing it, right? That's what's happening. You're sabotaging. It's like kicking yourself in the foot,
No, it really is. I'm sitting here, like, as we're filming this, I'm sitting here in my mind, like, because I don't always make the right choice as far as my food options. I don't. Because, sometimes that piece of pizza just looks so good. And I just have to have it, even though I know I'm lactose intolerant. So why do I eat pizza knowing that I can't have the dairy, knowing that later on in the day or maybe even the week that I'm not going to be able to breathe, I'm going to be have the air bubbles and stuff like that, and it's going to slow me down. I had an episode, back in college where I didn't even know I was lactose intolerant. I came home, made this 4-cheese lasagna and all this other stuff. Went back to school after the weekend was over, and I missed 2 days of school because
you couldn't figure out why your stomach was hurting.
My stomach hurt. I couldn't breathe. I was sweating, shortness of breath and everything. And I missed 2 days of school. I had perfect attendance for 4 years, and I missed 2 days of school because I wasn't in tune with my body or whatever. So I found out I was lactose intolerant, and then I still. Even this was 4 years ago, and I still kept eating dairy. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out, why do I keep doing it to myself? Does it not hurt enough?
That's a good point right there.
Do I just not care about my body? Or maybe I gotta be maybe he has to put me in the hospital for me to realize that I cannot digest dairy products. And I know the alternative. I know that there's cheeses out there, Go Veggie has some awesome alternatives. There's rice cheese,
goat cheese.
There's all these kinds of alternatives as far as dairy, almond milk. And I still go to,
the one that's familiar.
And I still put cheese on my burger. knowing that it's still
gonna
gonna
mess up your stomach.
I don't know. I guess maybe it doesn't hurt bad enough.
That's the thing, sometimes when things hurt, have you ever had an experience in your life, and I know we all have, right? Whereas things got so bad, you're just like, God, please, if you get me out of this, I'll
never do it again. I've done that so many times, and I did it again too.
You did it again.
It's kind of like, isn't there a story like something about a dog with a foot and nail or something like that?
Yes. The story about the dog who was moaning and groaning, and the guy asked the owner, why is the dog making that noise? And he said, because the dog is laying on a nail. This is a story that I heard another speaker talk about. And the guy says, well, why don't the dog move? And the owner said, because it doesn't hurt bad enough. When something hurts you bad enough, because I believe now, I'm not, a scientist or, some wise researcher or anything, but through experience, I understand that there are two things that move people to action and to really do something different about their lives, and that's pain and anger. If you ever get angry enough, if something ever hurt you bad enough, you'll do something about it. You'll do something different. I remember coming into one of the kids' rooms, they were playing, they had toys all over the place, and I kept saying, clean up this room. And every time I went back in there, 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later, stuff still all over the floor, and they didn't clean up. The third time I went into that room, and I stepped on a jack, and that pain shot up. What was like mommy on a warpath. I said, didn't I tell you to clean up this room? Pain and anger will get the job done, okay? So the question is, why do you have to wait until it gets that bad before we do something? Most of the time, we don't do anything about our blood. We don't even know we have a blood pressure until our blood pressure is high.
Yeah, do we not think that it's affecting us?
We're disconnected from it because we think because we've gotten by this long so far that we're going to continue to get by like this, but our bodies are changing every single day. Oh, that's a whole nother topic.
The world is changing. Our bodies are changing.
Yes.
The food is changing. The food that you ate.
Yes, is not the food that you're eating today.
Yeah. Even though the same product is out there, it may look like the same product, but it's not the same product.
The cows on the hills of yesterday are not the cows on the hills today. They're not. They're doing different things to the meat food lovers. The meat is processed differently. And here's the deal. While we're on this topic about meat, let me share something with you. Everything is energy. And there's a certain type of energy. See, food is energy. When we eat, we're supposed to be energized. Now, when we eat meat, we never even consider, is this angry meat that I'm eating? And you wonder why you're always angry. Is this abused meat?
Well, not even that. I tell people all the time, I can't be angry when I cook because I'm serving
that
this
energy
food
goes into
to other people. Exactly. If I'm angry and I'm cooking, my product doesn't turn out as good as if I was in a good mood, listening to music, dancing around the kitchen and cooking. It is really about energy. Energy goes in, that's why they say you put your foot in this food.
Yes.
You really literally put some sort
of
some physical essence of you into the food.
Yes. We say that
and
jokingly.
People can taste it.
People can taste it.
They can feel it.
Put in this.
Yeah. I'm sorry, food is a feeling. Like when you eat food and it's just so bad. It's so cold inside your shoe. Like it's like that feeling. And it really is about energy. So the person who cooked it and what they're cooking has a lot to do with how you feel after you eat the food.
Absolutely. And that goes back to the question I was asking. Do you know what happened to the meat before it got to your plate? Sometimes that meat was kicked, poked. Sometimes that animal was crying.
That animal was pumped and primed.
Stuffed with needles. Yes. You said stuffed with needles. Hormones, antibiotics. Yes. Hormones in the meat that knock your hormonal system off.
Yeah.
Now you're trying to figure out why your hormones are jacked up.
Obviously, if I'm eating something full of bad hormones, my hormones
are going to be affected.
Exactly. Which is why I had to stop eating chicken for like a couple years. It was hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I love chicken.
Yeah.
And the different ways that you can prepare it. But I had to stop it in order to reset my body to act in its correct fashion. Because your body is supposed to act a certain way.
Yes, it's by design. It's
It
supposed
is.
to act
It
that
is.
way.
But if you're putting things that are not in alignment with your bodily systems,
And then people pray, I'm gonna eat this burger.
mm-hmm.
Lord, please let my blood pressure be normal.
Lord, please don't let me have acid reflux. Lord, please don't let me have indigestion after I eat this.
Yes,
Well, what you think is going to happen?
yes, that is crazy. That is crazy. That's like just doing damage to yourself and praying and asking God to not let it hurt. You know, knowing what to do and not doing it. There's a lot of factors involved, food lovers. You have to get in tune with the factors that are affecting you,
Mm-hmm.
the factors that are affecting your decision
Mm-hmm.
that you made to be healthy. There are a number of factors, your associations. If you make a decision to be healthy, I guarantee you before the week is over, somebody will call you and invite you out to eat.
That happens to me all the time. I'll be like, all right, this week I want to do a cleanse. I just want to clean my body, you know, lemon water, all this other stuff. And as soon as I go over your house, it's like y'all picked that day to get all my favorite snacks. Y'all got Lay's chips. Y'all went to Dunkin' Donuts. There's a dozen of glazed donuts and sour cream donuts on the table. And I'm just like, y'all didn't have this stuff like a week ago when I was okay with eating this. Like, why? But it's like it's probably like a little test or something. Y'all probably knew like subconsciously like, okay, hey, she about to start eating right soon. Let me go get yeah. And it's hard, it's a struggle. I remember the first time we took a cleanse and you can't eat for like 2 days, and that cleanse is
the bomb.
It cleans you. You feel so much better. You just feel clean. I don't even know how to describe it. Your body just feels clean.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember the boys had like, I think they had some vanilla cookies, and I was just like, can I just have this cookie, please? Can I just have this cookie? He was like, no, it's a mess of your diet. I think I licked the cookie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just had to lick the cookie, and I think after I licked it, I chewed it up and I spit it out because I just needed it.
That's ridiculous. You didn't even get the full effect. I know. Mine just drew you to it. I have cookies in our space without licking them.
But the thing is, I felt so much better after I did it.
You eat the whole cookie. It's something.
Isn't it?
Yes.
That is so funny.
We have to have it. I used to do that. I'm gonna be honest. I used to do that with favorite foods. And my thing was carbs. I had to really get to know my body concerning carbs. There was certain things I love, bread and stuff like that. There was certain things that I love, and not just bread. Not just bread. I mean, you gotta make it right. It's gotta be crusty on the top and moist in the middle. Then it's gotta have butter or olive oil. I mean, it's just cheese, parmesan. Oh my God. So I made up my mind that I was gonna chill out on the carbs. And we went out to dinner, and it was this piece of bread. And you know, you try to trick your mind. You're like, you know what? I'm just going to eat this, and my body ain't even going to know I ate it. You just hold it up. You say, maybe if I eat another
or all right, I'm going to just eat this piece of bread, and then tomorrow I'm not going to eat no bread at all, and then the next day. You know, you psych yourself out.
Yes,
that you know you're not supposed to have in the first place.
Or you end up keep saying, I'm going to wait till Monday. I'm going to start Monday.
What about Monday? I don't know.
I don't know. It's not the beginning of the week. I thought Sunday was. You know, but we got this thing in our mind, you know, Monday, you know, I'm going to start my diet on Monday.
I'll be like, all right, I get back to this person on Monday. And I don't even do it. I'll be like, all right. Today my last day. I'm going to do it on Tuesday. And then a whole week, I'm like, all right, Monday again. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah. Playing those mind games, back and forth. You know, tricking yourself, you can't trick yourself. You're sabotaging your goals, period. You know?
So what happened with the bread?
So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to, maybe if I just take a little tiny piece, you know. I mean, because we practice the 80-20 rule. You know, 80% of the time you eat really, really clean, right? And then 20% of the time, like, we're restaurant hoppers. You know, Kristen will find a dynamite restaurant. She's like, Mom, come on, let's go to this restaurant. You got to do that. So you can't just tiptoe around stuff when you're trying to try a new restaurant. So save your restaurants for the 20 rule, right? So I'm sitting there thinking, if I just nibble on this piece of bread, it's not going to affect me. One little piece of that bread is just has the same ingredients and effect as the whole piece of bread. So who you really fooling? You ain't fooling nobody but yourself, right? And you just have to get to the point whereas set some boundaries. See, food is to be enjoyed. I do believe that.
Yes, food is life, so enjoy it to its fullest.
Yes.
But at the same time, be cautious.
Yes. You gotta have some moderation going on. You gotta have some boundaries going on. If you're gonna eat something that you just simply love, and I'm saying that you just simply love, because there are a lot of healthy foods that I just simply love. Healthy food is not something that we avoid because it doesn't taste good or run from it because it doesn't taste good.
Yeah, I mean, I've had instances where you brought home a product, or we were out and we like, oh well, we're at a health, store or expo, and we try something, and I'm just like, well, this tastes like bark. This tastes like grass, and I'm not going to eat it. It's not because it's healthy. It's just because it doesn't taste good.
And we're not trying to abuse ourselves or deny ourselves.
Exactly.
What the goal is, the journey is about finding healthier alternatives.
That you like. I didn't say find a healthy alternative that you don't like.
Yeah.
Find one that you do like so that you can switch over your lifestyle.
Yes, because it's not like it was when we started on the healthy journey, right? There was minimal options that we had exposure to.
Everything was so unknown.
Yes, it was so unknown, and then you would look at it in the store, you're like, I don't know if this is gonna taste good. I'll be honest with you, most of the stuff we brought home did not taste good.
No, it didn't. We would just I guess when people first get on that health food, thing, they're like, just vegetables. Like, no.
Or just salad, lettuce, and it's so many different options.
Salt and pepper. Like, no, I'm still hungry.
I'm still hungry. So now, a lot more people are consciously eating and health conscious. So there's so many more options out there concerning, and Kristen, I want you to get into this a little bit. It's not the food that we like. It's how we prepare the food that makes us like it so much.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'll take it even further. It's not really the food item per se. It's what we put on the food.
Yes.
I love different spices, different seasonings, and things like that. Sometimes when, I'm not a huge meat eater. I eat meat every now and then, and that's for me personally because of what I deal with. But sometimes I'm craving meat, and I'm just like, all right, today I just didn't really want to eat meat. I'll take what I normally season my meat with and put it on something else, and it kind of gets
like
that
a stir fry. You can put the same seasoning on a stir fry.
Exactly.
On beans.
It's how you prepare it. It's what you put on it to get that craving to go away. Case in point, kale chips. I love chips. I love potato chips, Lay's, and then the Utz has that sweet and sweet and spicy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, those chips! I will sit and eat a whole family-size bag of potato chips. I'm in love with them. But I had to analyze myself. Why do I like chips? And I realized I think it was the crunch. Because all your five senses are engaged when you're eating.
Yes.
Your smell, your taste buds, the sound of it. So it's the crunch of it. It wasn't necessarily the potato itself or the saltiness. So when we started, I think you did it the first time you started making kale chips. I was a little apprehensive. I'm like, a piece of grass crunchy. It just didn't even make sense. So I tried it, and it was amazing. I'm obsessed with.
We couldn't even keep kale in the house anymore.
Exactly, kale chips. And I don't mean store-bought kale chips. I mean fresh out the oven, hot, crispy, crunchy kale chips. And
lightly salted olive
oil. So now I eat them, and it's like, okay, I still eat potato chips, but I crave potato chips all the time. So I know I shouldn't be eating them all the time. So now I go to kale chips, which is great for boosting my iron levels.
Yes.
So that's an alternative for me. So now I know why I like potato chips. I have something else that I can go to when I don't want to eat potato chips, because I made the mental decision not to eat potato chips every day. So now I'll go between kale chips and potato chips.
And that's the beauty of using your food as your medicine. Because like you said, with the kale chips, now you're not only satisfying your craving, but you're also boosting your iron. You're boosting your oxygen levels. You're getting that beautiful green, substance in the body
and you're not taking in all the carbs.
Yes.
From potato.
Yes, and you don't have to feel guilty. Yeah. So there are so many benefits, food lovers. in making that verbal decision and the mental decision to do what you know to do instead of knowing what you do, knowing what you're supposed to do and not doing it, right? So we hope you've received value from today's episode of Lifestyle of a Food Lover. And again, we want to encourage you to visit this channel often. We want to encourage you to subscribe. Leave a comment below. If there's a question that you have about this video or a question that you have about your wellness and your health, post the question below and we'll actually create a video of it. We'll center the whole video around your question, making sure that you get the value that you need to enhance your life. Again, this is Dr. Tony Hatton, Vision Expert at www.theattractivethinker.guru.
And I'm Chef Kristen Hatton at KristenMaries.com and Facebook Kristen Maries LLC. Bye, food lovers.
Bye.